And we do get railway and bridgeway as the midpoints. Well, here. Make sure I get the Swerbug on. We should be good to go. I don't know exactly who I'm supposed to join. Be in this left spawn. Make sure everything's okay and good to go. All right. And as we get underway here, so Brick Factory and then the opposite points of South Railway and Bridgeway. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what 6 does do after they after I assume they're probably gonna lose the cap, but you know, anything could happen when this does go off. Getting some extra overlays that are kind of fancy. Go. Ooh. Right, and we get 30 seconds until this match is underway. So, oh my god, I don't actually have my cursor. So I do expect the Gary in like the corner of C7, E7, you know, typical Gary layouts. Can be very interesting to see what 6 does. I don't know. I can actually see them also doing something with the recon tank. We're just gonna quickly go over to them and see what they have going over here. Looks like they just have one truck, supply truck, and a Luke's tank. But they do have another truck just south of the actual bridge itself. I missed the actual thing for the Swerbug. Once this does get underway, we should be good to go. I don't think we're gonna have any sort of actually my cursor's invisible. I don't know why it is, but it is. But it looks like we do have a supply drop north there. Cursor's actually invisible. That's crazy. Don't know why it's invisible, but we are underway here, ladies and gentlemen. A nice little Driel match. Don't think there's gonna be any sort of tank snipes. Don't know how people prep for this map, to be completely honest. Looks like we do have a Lux just starting to shoot, maybe trying to get something going. Maybe gets a lucky shell to fly by somewhere. Sounds like something hit, but maybe just hit like a building. Rockets going in. Maybe missing their marks a tad bit. Legion rockets coming in as well. I don't think we're gonna get any sort of rocket snipes here. I think 6 might be playing for recap, because they are going a little bit wide, not sending a lot towards the actual mid-cap. Oh, Brick Factory, which actually will get killed by a tank on top of the bridge on the allied side, and that's not what you want if you are 6th. Ooh, it's probably going to be a 6 cap. They just have a Luke's tank now. They do have some decent bridge control. They did get across the bridge on the allied side, which is huge, but 2 Luxes now going in with essentially with no support whatsoever. It's going to gonna be pretty tough for them to honestly get back right where these tanks are at. There's 2 Lux tanks. Carlos are gonna try to get a satchel onto one of them, and he's gonna be running. Ivan's running too. Ivan gets on top of the tank. Will successfully get a satchel before dying to the Lux. Other Lux does die to a rocket. But then this Lux will probably go down as well, unless White Bread. He does not get the satchel off, and that will be a dead Lux tank. It's Brick Factory as Axis. It's one of the harder points in the game to honestly take. And that's pretty much it for Brick Factory. I don't see any sort of 6 nearby. Maybe go towards a bridge where they have a lot more control. This is going to be... Brick Factory capture for Legion. Again, Legion is the British here. 6th is the Germans. I just don't have them in the ticker. Brig Dodger, nice. One of the better shooters in the game for 6th and Hella Loose console in general. Just take a look at the map real quick. Still no cursor for me, but Legion, pretty good control. It's gonna... I'm curious of what if there's going to be any sort of attempt to get and put pressure on Bridgeway. Obviously, Legion's going to have to, you know, retake the bridge. 6th, clear control that they do have the bridge. They're actually opting to go under the bridge rather than on top, which I kind of don't agree with, but it's working out for them, so why not? Going to be very, very tough for 6 to, I think, get Brick Factory back, but they're only one of few teams to actually beat Legion in a match, so anything is possible for them. See Crawley and Terry trying to make some headway, and Crawley actually getting across to the other side is very, very big. If he can get down his OP, he's gonna have to get down his OP sooner than later. Probably get it inside this bush. What is he doing? Omen should be able to see him. Omen does have his binos out. Actually does not see Crawley, and Crawley does get his OP. Omen can easily see it. Crawley does continue. He will get a kill onto Omen. Crawley does hop over, burns the OP of JPL, and Crawley will get the kill. Now Crawley running around in the point. He will get inside of the factory building. Now Crawley's gonna have to, and his squad are gonna have to load that OP and start really assaulting this point, because this is an opportunity that they cannot afford to lose. Max and Hell. We do have a tank fight, I think, between the medium tanks, maybe some AT guns. Some sort of vehicle on top of the actual bridge itself. And Crawley's OP is still up. Yes, it is. 3-mans do spawn onto it. I'm very surprised they're not throwing any smoke. Break, knocking them down. Gets 3 quick kills. Gonna try to get the OP. They get another huge kill. He's just gonna have to make his way to that OP now, but Max with a big kill of himself, but Artie will start landing on that OP. That OP's not gonna have a fun time dealing with that. While Max, Brawly, Black, and Terry deal with that front door right in front of the factory. The 6th really trying to spread out Legion, but you know, Legion in this position, they're kind of comfortable with that. They're kind of comfortable giving out, you know, this whole like F6 to H6 sector. They're kind of, you know, comfortable having them have the majority of the control. Kind of maybe just spreading them in between here and there. Just trying to do what they want to do. You know, it's kind of controlled chaos, to say the least. It's like, yeah, they have majority of control, but, you know, they don't have control of the obvious midpoint. Bringing a tank over here? What is this over here? Is this AT gun? Oh, so this is probably what was this is what's been hitting their point. Proki on the AT gun, trying to assault their point. Okay, okay. Goes tumbling down the hill. Battle for bridge, so vital for each team. More so 6th than Legion. Cash can maybe put in some work here. This MG sees Divinity first. We'll get the kill. Crawley did get his OP wiped out. Very curious if is he playing a satchel over here? Oh, Wilco's bug or bulge, I have no idea. It's the kill. The success that or maybe not success that Crawley is trying to do yet again. Push up this front door. And Crawley was flying. Oh man. Flying in the air. See, not a lot of front door pressure that 6 can apply. You can kind of look at the map now. 6 actually starting to make some progress onto the Legion backline. Garrison's South Railway. Interesting point for Legion to defend if they do end up having to defend it. I think it's one of the weirdest points to defend the game just because it's just awkward to defend. And if they don't really get bridge under control and 6, you know, does end up capping Brick Factory from them at some point, if they do that, obviously. It's almost, I want to say GG, but it's really not, if that does happen. But you know, 6 have a tough hill to climb to get to this brick factory, but real rough point. Gale hiding in a bush, Gale's collapsed. don't know what blew up here. Looks like a truck blew up right there. I feel like there's so many AT gun spots for either team to place. Just sneakily put down one just because you're maybe a little bit unfamiliar with the map, and that corpse is going flying. Got some little gambit bomb action. I love those things. I think they're the most fun thing to use other than Molotovs in the game. Six really starting to control the bridge now. Not a lot of Legion like anywhere close. And yeah, they are starting to lose some garrisons. Looks like they're trying to get one towards the map edge, opposite side of Brick Factory. Maybe they can apply some pressure then. They maybe send like a small little squad to attack Six's fourth point. Six seem to be winning the majority of their engagements right now. Annie on the MG just lighting up a storm with it. But then we'll get shot by Libby. Louisiana kills himself and Libby with the rocket launcher. Gotta love the small little sacrifices that teams tend to do in these matches. Look on the Six side of things, they are starting to bring up some heavy tanks now. This is probably their first or second tire tank. Interesting to see where they play this. Obviously they can just back up on the hill if they do take a shot, but can't play too aggressive with armor in this matchup. If we look at the map real quick of Legion's tanks, looks like they do have one on its way as well. Still have the medium up and a few AT guns to say the least. And I think the medium tank, something else just blew up, not the medium tank, but maybe a rep station or a truck that did just die. Constantina Max. The AT gun. You get one hit onto, looks like an enemy AT gun of Legions, and they will blow it up. So good on those two to pick that out and destroy the AT gun, but looks like this 76, or not the 76, well maybe they have a 76. The heavy tanks of Legion are starting to hit this Tiger. Down goes that AT gun. Legion are starting to make a little bit more progress here on their side of the bridge, onto the bridge. We'll be moving in. Here's Casper. Someone else will take Casper's head off. Casper the Headless Ghost. They'll respawn in a few seconds now. I'm also going to be interested to see if Legion does like opt for airhead. I'm just going to fly over here for a second just to maybe, you know, get like a gauge of like kind of what's happening. Obviously no one in the midpoint for 6th, but you know, if Legion does drop, you know, an airhead, you know, somewhere back over here, maybe by this plane, can completely catch 6th off guard, as they really don't have one back there. Now granted, they probably do have maybe a few spawns back there, maybe a garrison or two within, you know, like 200-300 meters of it, but you know, that's like infantry that you are pulling away from, you know, their respective areas that, you know, they're gonna have to attend to. So I would not be surprised if Legion, you know, at some point in this match, if this, you know, still continues over this 2-3 stalemate with Legion winning, if Legion does something like that. Now obviously for the 6th, I kind of don't see him doing that, but you know, maybe they have something up their sleeves that they prepped that we don't know about. Go piss with that drum mag, Tommy. Gets taken out by other infantry just south of where my admin camera is at. And it honestly seems like the majority of the teams are fighting over the bridge still, which is not too common. It's interesting. The 6 reclaiming tracks, and Terry just trying to do something over here. Not really too much happening up here. Legion doesn't have to move a muscle. Just a little bit rough fighting for 6. Looks like JPL actually does get across though. JPL getting across now. This could be pretty big now. If JPL can get an OP down and they can wipe out this entire push just north of Brick Factory, be very, very big. JPL just cannot get caught out. I think he just placed his OP. Yes, he did place his OP. And will run and probably hide somewhere and start harassing 6 from the back. That's a huge, huge OP, and maybe take out that Tiger tank. We'll check back with him in about a few minutes here. But like something just blew up. Actually, looks like it was an AT gun. And I think Frosty's trying to snipe this guy through a bush now with this AT gun. Be very interesting to see. I think Doc just marked him with the binos. And the Tiger goes down. The AT gun and it looks like the Firefly actually take out the Tiger tank. Huge play by Frost and I want to say Scottish and his tank crew. Because I think, where's this medium at? Oh, this medium's right here. Jesus Christ, explaining it so well. Maryland and his tank are still alive in that medium, so unless he got like a little bit of a side shot, that's a beautiful play by, you know, 6 infantry and armor there. Well played from them. In the back now, JPL does get his OP down, and a few infantry from Legion do spawn back here, and it looks like 6th are recognizing that a tad bit. Probably gonna go back and investigate. Same with Daisy. Actually, let's check out this fight because this could be a huge fight, and looks like they are starting to get some sort of cap progress onto the 4th point of 6th. And actually, all of 6's front line is just kind of like depleted. Really, no one, just making sure that no one crosses the river. I don't know where I'm looking. Oh. I gotta catch some people in 4K hiding in a bush. screenshot right here. We are. And we'll keep on moving. Oh, that lag spike though. Looks like that OP from JPL finally did go down to the 6th Infantry. But in that process, Legion have gained a ton of ground, like across the entire map sectors. You can see pretty good line of infantry for Legion. I think they can still build a Garrier too, but obviously they're gonna try to focus bridge control now. Tony and Meth Chimp. Tony gets one, but does get taken out by a Wilco. I think the biggest heartbreaker that did happen, though, it kind of set the tone for the rest of this match, was that tank snipe onto that truck, and it looks like something else just went down. Hopefully that's not another Tiger, maybe just a rep station. Yeah, or an AT gun. AT gun works too. If you are the 6th, you'd rather lose that than a heavy tank, but obviously Legion are on top of their game. It looks like 6 starting to get some payback though with these AT guns, but it does not last long. That AT gun will be destroyed. Probably not giving up. Crossing the river. We do have a tank fight here at the map edge. Tank protected by three or two rep stations, and it was on top of barricades. Nice little strategy right there, but probably got his turret taken out. Could not really turn that quick enough, and will back away. We'll get those reps back in and possibly trying to get back on top of these barricades. Whatever tank this is looks to be another heavy tank. Not sure if it's Cromwell or if it's a Firefly. But he is pretty much pinned down by those tanks and AT guns and other armor. It looks like he does get hit in the turret yet again. Legion actually just wasting a lot of ammo on these tanks, believe it or not, because one thing that the British do lack in is actually ammo for the tanks. They only got, I think, have like 30 rounds of AP and HE each. So, you know, Legion's gonna keep shooting their AP ammo and missing. It's not gonna go well once this, you know, tank does finally peak, but he's still gonna get hit, but I think he will be a-okay. Look back to the bridge. Let's actually look all the way over here too. See, this whole entire map is being used. It's kind of a weird stalemate. So I feel like this is gonna be like this the entire game. Not gonna lie. It's honestly an uneventful game so far, but you know, some good moments here and there. It just takes a little bit of time to develop. Still an hour to go. Legion, for the majority of this game, have been, you know, as you kind of expect with the Brickway as the midpoint, just completely dominating right now. But you know, 6 aren't, you know, letting go of this, you know, bridge that easily. Critical flare, we'll see all of 6 in this flare. But it looks like Legion's actually bringing up a light tank over here somehow, with a SL on top of it. Eagles will hop off and will sit down as OP. Big brain plays here from Legion now. Just basically driving the driving a guy over. Blacklisted will get taken out by Eagles too. And down goes the Legion light tank, but they did get an OP on top. Right near 6's bed line. I don't think they can build a garrison here, can they? Oh, they can build a garrison here. Interesting. Looks like they do get a small spawn wave, just 2 people. Reg and Eagles. And that player just got absolutely obliterated by a tank round. Ivan spawning here as well. Bring the ATs and satchels with them. Hopefully trying to take out the 6th infantry as well as the tanks. I think that Tiger tank is really getting slapped. Not sure if he will go down here. He doesn't have any sort of rep stations and is getting hit a little bit more. Just a volley of anti-tank rounds coming in. I feel like 6 are going to have to win the armor game if they do want a chance of doing something to capture Brick Factory. They're going to be in an uphill battle this entire time, but you know, they are a team that, you know, is very experienced armor crews. They're really, I would say, you know, top tier armor team. Obviously, pushing off an offset point can be, you know, troublesome for them, as it is for any team. But maybe if they can, you know, use their P-Strike to take out one of Legion's tanks, and that's a lot of AT guns and stuff there. But now more SLs from Legion are starting to cross the river. Fourth point is being flipped. Looks like just one SL. Looks like JPL is the only one in the sector. Trying to lock it down with the MG, but will get taken out. Taku and Libby, 2 fairly recent players, join LGN, kind of making some headway here on top of the bridge. Takes out Wilco. Casper with the hipfire MG. Take him out. Who takes out a different MG, but then will get taken out by Cash. 6 claiming the bridge again. It's been pretty yin-yang on this bridge. Legion will make some progress, and then, you know, 6 will, you know, for the more or less control it, and then they'll lose it. Then Legion will make some, you know, progress back. Just kind of goes back and forth, back and forth. This is probably their best push yet for the 6th. Casper back on this MG, trying to make some room for his boys to move up. And so what you want to do is an MG, just, you know, lay down some fire, maybe pick off some people. But, you know, the suppression in this game I feel like is a little bit underrated and underused. I feel like a lot of teams, like especially on the console side, just don't utilize MGs, and I feel like more teams are starting to use them a little bit more. And, you know, Casper doing a great, you know, showing us a great example of how effective they are, if I can, you know, say proper words. You know, just suppressing this side of the hill so his team can move up and then, you know, shoot the suppressive players. But like any MG, you are going to get taken out. You are kind of just a sitting duck there, as Briz will do to him. But, you know, that is making some sort of progress. Or 6 now. Just haven't crossed that bridge yet. Probably just throwing some grenades. Bridge wars. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but it is here. Or railroad track wars. Lots of people camping in bushes. Looks like Daisy's starting to get a decent OP now. Maybe just waiting, maybe trying to find a good spot. She can maybe get something going with that OP. Start poking at Legion's backlines and on point stuff. Probably get something going. I think this OP is still here for Eagles. Has not gone down. And a flamethrower action by Greg, and he's dead. Oh man. Gonna see some thought we were gonna see some flamethrower action, but unfortunately it did not happen, and everyone on that OP except for Eagles is now dead. Well, now Eagles is dead. This is probably a rough OP to get to because of these MG firings. Drew trying to get to it. Iceman and Dunny do spawn, but one of them gets eliminated. Dunny, the last alive. Trying to protect this OP. And Crawley gets taken out, I think, by Trojan. Huge kill to save that OP. Cryptic trying to throw another grenade onto it. I don't know where that MG came from. Be best. Donnie hiding in the water. We'll get him down. I don't know how this OP is still up. Oh, did this tank just blow up? The 6th. Yeah, that's not what you wanted for the 6th. It was I don't know if this tank was stuck, because he was here the last time we saw him. Maybe he lost a crewman. I don't know if he actually got stuck or not, but not a good spot to have your tanks, unfortunately. But Kind of flying all over the place, just trying to catch all the action. This OP will probably get burnt by Terry here in just a few seconds. Yep, there it goes. It's like Nui will burn Hans's OP, and that will be the end of everything Legion, except for this one A squad OP. Like JPL again, starting to make some progress onto the 4th point. That is Bridgeway for the 6th. Legion's still on the cap of the 4th point, but I assume it will get defended here in just a few moments. If not, something's going wrong with the 6th side of things. The cap is still on to Bridgeway. I think they just did get a spawn on. I'm very surprised Legion hasn't brought any sort of tanks or anything. Even 6-2 looks like Legion is starting to bring up a medium tank now to the bridge, but just look at all the supplies that Legion have. They even have an abandoned heavy tank. Is this thing stuck? No, they just okay, I don't know what's going on. Oh, look at that. Bunker rep stations. That's okay. I wonder if you can trick other tankers into shooting this turret. I guarantee you someone might be painting this, be like, oh, there's another tank, there's 3 tanks right here. If this bunker gets P-striked, because I haven't seen a British bunker in probably a year. If that gets P-striked, that's gonna be one hell of a clip. Back to the bridge. This is starting to more look like a pub lobby than anything else. Oh my god, I'm under the map. My cam is so hard to control sometimes. The Legion built a Gary. They did build a garrison on the 6th side of the river. Not sure if 6 is aware of that. Looks like they are. Looks like Nui is on top of it. Maybe not. Big spawn wave does happen. Everyone but Yakko will get taken out, but he will join them in death shortly after that. That will be the end of that garrison. Trojan trying to get some frags, but will get taken out himself. Just leaving JPL all alone until the squad just spawned in. It looks like that will be the end of that OP and that small little Legion push. Well, what that does do, it opens the opportunity for Legion to start making a little bit more progress onto the actual bridge itself, but they're just not moving up, which I don't understand. Constantine actually in hard point. He might be getting a satchel down on top of a tank. He might have actually got one down on a tank. He did. Constantine will run away now, and down goes that Firefly. So huge satchel there from Constantine. Will get taken out by Caparzo, but you know, that is a big win for the 6. If they can keep doing that, or you know, slowly, you know, whittle the Legion armor down, they can mount something basically front door of Brick Factory, and you know, start making a play to flip this game back into their favor, because you know, it's still heavily in the Legion favor, if I do have to say so myself. But you know, if they can maybe take out some armor, continue this push. But you know, this is a lot of rep stations and AT guns and you know, potential other stuff that Legion can build with that stuff. So yeah, that's a very tall task for 6 to do still. But you know, they did get one, means they can get more. Bridge now. This is, I think, the most progress Legion has made on the bridge itself. I'm very surprised that 6 haven't done anything as far as tanks on the bridge. Do spawn. They will both get taken out. Roma leading the charge for Legion on bridge towards Bridgeway. Already now starting to come down, but they're going to keep pushing along. As we can see, some some desperate progress here, but this is very tough for them to push up on. Oh yeah, I should probably have switched that. I never switched the score. I totally missed out. Oh man. Thank you, Tommy Shelby, for reminding me more than halfway through the match to switch the score to 3-2 in favor of Legion. I totally forgot about that because, yeah. Oh my god. Oh man. I think it was mostly like the time it took for this match to get started. That's like, I was just getting frustrated. I just, you know, messed up some things, but oh well. It is just a friendly. It's Driel, so is what it is. But no, we live and we move on. Trying to hold it down. It's taken out by Mr. Lucratives. If I can say words right. Six now really starting to put some pressure onto the bridge. Pushing south. Over here, maybe. I'm, I'm trying to find some interesting stuff, and it's just it's a rough, I would say, point layout and map just to find some good stuff on. Mulligan trying to make some progress now. If Mulligan can some kills and drag out a little bit. I'm gonna throw a grenade, but no one's gonna be there. But a spawn wave does come in 70 meters of him. Maybe he can pick off some kills. Also, one thing that Mulligan is doing that, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, should also consider is, you know, he's not, you know, still like rushing around the map and, you know, I think Libby has a Piet. One thing that I really liked what Mulligan did there is, you know, he kind of waited for, you know, for him to have a little bit of backup, just because, like, if you push up by yourself, you know, if you get into like a 1-on like 2+ engagement, odds are you're not gonna win that unless, you know, you get a little bit of lucky, because, you know, luck is involved in this game to some extent, and I think people maybe need to realize that a little bit. Just like, you know, if you catch someone just rounding a corner, or, you know, you are just in proximity of a satchel or something like that, you know what I mean? Or maybe even like the arty rounds are, you know, somewhat luck based or chance based. You know, there is a little bit of luck involved. So by, you know, not moving up, having, you know, maybe a little bit more favorable numbers, obviously it didn't really work out for Mulligan too much in that life that he had. Only maybe one guy as a friend next to him. Kind of got overwhelmed too, but, you know, that went from like a 1-on, you know, 5 engagement to a 2-on-5. Odds are they're still not going to win that engagement, but maybe they could trade out maybe 1 or 2 more kills, you know what I mean? So, and then maybe the next spawn wave after that, you know, there's 3 guys that spawn in his OP, and, you know, they, you know, wipe them all out. And, you know, as long as you like win those, you know, key engagements, that's what kind of, you know, can flip a game onto its head with how teams can possibly come back. Now we're kind of seeing like each team kind of like out-frag each other for a little bit, and, you know, refrag each other. Dub does get knocked down by, assume, Scharnhorst or nukes. Probably nukes. But if we turn our attention back, it looks like Legion is starting to have a little bit of trouble in the back lines. Nothing's really lit up. OPs are down, and it's like they do have a red zone garrison and an AT gun in the back lines of 6, but that's not going to mean too much if 6 can maybe pull something from the rear of Legion. DJ trying to make his way towards those tanks. Does knock down Eagles. At the forward, trying to do something with the Sten. Will get taken out by DJ. These Legion tanks now in a bit of a trouble. Flare does go out. Garrison is locked up. And Legion starting to scramble a little bit. Area probably will take out this garrison. Unless Commander for Legion will strafe him, which I don't believe that will happen. It kind of looks like this push is getting cut down. Happy Andy hiding in a bush. Is he lighting something up? He is not. Just out of that OP peening radius. And what I mean by that, it's not lighting up red on that DOP. Matty Ice trying to do his best to sniff him out, but he will be laying down, not moving the muscle, and that's what you want your SLs to do if they do get behind them. Come back and join Andy here in just a few moments once things die down for him. On the flip side, with this Red Zone Legion garrison, I'm very curious for that AT gun of how effective that will be. Maybe there was a tank all the way in the distance that was trying to snipe their tanks, but now Terry's hiding in a bush. Kills Greg, then we'll get taken out by Omen. You gotta think that 6 should probably start using like a P-strike or something like that. Maybe take out these 2 heavy tanks on the map border. Maybe have 6 engage right after that with their tanks. There's no bombing runs that have actually been used in this match, which is, you know, very weird. It's not that common that teams will use bombing runs in, like, you know, the higher tiered like Division 1 games and stuff, but like, you know, you do still see them like use like probably twice a match from each team. Briz is hearing some STG shots. Will Briz. The better of lockdown with that STG. Looks like we do have our first bombing run of the match somewhere. Actually, I think just got a P-strike as well. Tony driving the supply truck. I think they actually did take out one of these heavy tanks from Legion. I'm just not sure if it was a 6 tank crew, or that's kind of funny how these German supplies are just stuck in the hopper, dude. That's funny. Technically, Legion can't destroy this by hand. They're gonna have to use a rocket to blow it up, but that's funny. That is funny. But you know what that does do? It opens a door for 6 to maybe crawl across this river. Brew and Crawley, the 2 SLs, gonna have to get their OPs up. Would not surprise me then if 6 load both those OPs for 12 people plus spawn on them. Blue does get down, but I assume he probably did place an OP down somewhere. Looks like a lot more people from 6 are actually in the Legion backlines. Happy Andy still alive back there. He did get his OP down. Probably getting his OP down too, as you can see on the left side of your screen. Omen will get a kill. 6 actually starting to make some good, you know, decent pressure now onto Brick Factory. Smoke already is also coming down as well. I assume that's probably from the 6th. or the Axis if you don't know who's who. That is a very unfortunate smoke round on top of the factory building. At the same time, Legion's starting to make some sort of cap progress onto Bridgeway. Just flashed for a little bit, but Airhead is coming down here for the 6th. The Legion are starting to put some cap pressure, but Dawn does die, which... anything, Shadow throwing grenades onto the Airhead. Nukes will protect it, but the Airhead will get taken out by a Suma grenade from Shadow. A little bit of a desperation play from 6. You know, they saw an opportunity, they took it, just didn't really pan out. If Nukes was there maybe 5 seconds sooner, would have maybe stopped that grenade getting tossed onto the Airhead. As you can see, Legion actually does have an OP in the hard point of Bridgeway, so this could be very interesting. Does continue for them. Smoke party still coming down. Help Drew and Crawley and his boys keep pushing up. Just under a half hour to go if you're just joining me. Little friendly match between Legion as the British and 6th as the Germans. Don't have the ticker for either of those two teams' logo in the ticker, but you know, we're living with what we got. Legion at the start did cap this point with, I would say, fairly ease. It was fairly easy for them to cap it. They did get a snipe on a truck, but it's starting to heat up a little bit. With just under a half hour to go, but Legion's still putting that pressure on the Bridgeway. As this push starts to die down a tad bit from the 6th side of things, a look at Bridgeway, and it looks like just a small 5-man squad, 4-man squad. Be a-okay. Front from behind though. Will die to DJ. I think DJ just hip fired that, which is insane. But this cap is still continuing for Legion here, and it's only these 5 players in the hard cap. Fatal snuck around, got his OP down, and Legion are still capping this point. 20 the first death. Satchel does go off, and I think we'll take out Fatal's OP. Yes, it will. And there's actually a medium tank just rolling across the bridge. And there's a Tiger below him. I don't know what stopped this medium tank. Don't know what's going on here. Oh. This is not good for 6th. I was wondering, why is this tank just stopped? Like, oh. They just dived it. Haney gonna get a satchel onto this medium. She does. We'll toss a grenade on the behind of it. Doing some underhand tosses. And, this medium tank will blow up here in a matter of moments. and an unfortunate TK as well. What to do now? All the action just kind of stopped and everyone's just dying. Look at the map 1 second. Looks like Legion still has that red zone garrison right in front of Oosterbeek approach. Not sure what they have planned, but I'm very surprised that they didn't get anything off anywhere else as far as like OPs or garrisons. Like there's no garrison to the far right. I kind of expected that. Maybe they're just maybe playing a little bit more consolidated. Only 23 minutes left in this match. You know, even though it's a friendly, you still want, you know, bragging rights for the next week until an actual comp match is to be played from both these teams. Not against each other, but against respected other teams. Constantine with the burnt OP, and then DJ thought with the cleanup with that MG42. Well done to you, gentlemen. And Beamform, what is going on back here? They're going on a super wide flank, and Omen is recognizing it. And I feel like this is gonna have to pan out for Happy Andy and Cryptic. More so Happy Andy than anybody else. If he dies back here, this is, you know, a lot of progress that they did take to get back here. It's, you know, C7, but, you know, if he wants to do this exact same thing, that's going to be, you know, essentially like 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes left of the match to run all the way back there. If he does go down here, but it looks like the Beamform, what did he spot? There's a half track back here. Wait. Wait a second. How can you spawn a half track back here? I am, I don't know how they can spawn people back in this half track back here. Wait a second. It's out of bounds. Well, that's an interesting play that I did not see coming. Well, we're gonna get some rule changes are gonna happen. Great, that's the last thing we need is rule changes. But anyways, that's gonna happen after this match is played. I'm sorry that you guys had to see that. It's gonna be interesting. But Cryptic and some people, let's get 2 onto AMAC and Panda, just a 2-man Firefly crew. That is an interesting interesting play. Holy shit. I have not seen that ever in a game where that is bizarre. I'm shocked because, well, now 6 is making some good progress here onto Legion. They pretty much have full bridge control, and now they're starting to get this little these, I guess, farm building structures. I don't really know what to call them. Postmodern era antique houses, I guess. I have no idea, but this is the best 6 have looked so far in this match. Still 20 minutes to go. It's been all Legion, but, you know, 6 are starting to make really good progress. They just need a, you know, one little breakthrough here and there, and they'll be, you know, sitting pretty for a potential, I guess, a recap for the first time into this match. Doctor, it's 2 kills in the bush. Doc trying to find him. Thatcher will get taken out by Taku. Daisy will get her OP up, and a trio of 6 players will spawn onto it, but slowly dying away. But with all that attention that, you know, Daisy and Mulligan and all of them are having, Crawley's just walking in the point. So this is gonna get hairy for Legion here in just a second. They're kind of like really strapped behind them now, like really spread out, and honestly it does not seem like a lot of them are even on the map. I don't know if they have anybody drop out or what, but this is not looking good for Legion whatsoever. Big spawn wave on basically a backdoor garrison, and Legion is starting to lose this. I think they're losing a good amount of progress. Obviously they still have the cap right now, but I don't think they're gonna have it for too much longer if this continues for them. Tank is also getting harassed, does have some rep stations and Trojan healing him from the back. Progress does start on to Bridgeway. Legion are starting to capture Bridgeway, just 1 SL. They actually have 2 SLs in the red zone. But this is a lot of pressure that 6th are applying to Legion now. Well, if Crawley's locking up the Gary, he is not locking up the garrison. Lockdown will take out 2 with that STG. Constantine will do the same thing. The Frost. Now 6th finally making some sort of dent into the cap pressure for the first time in over an hour and 14 minutes. Well, I would say just under, but you know what I mean. 6th are looking pretty good for this cap. We can still have the on-point garrison and a backup Gary. Huge spawn away from Legion. They're gonna have to clear out a lot at this point because 6th are starting to make a huge push, and this is the first time in this match that a lot of gunfire is actually gonna happen and we get to hear it and see it. But lots of progress still for 6th to make. Have to destroy obviously the on-point garrison and probably this backup garrison in the C7. They are starting to cap Bridgeway. There is 1 SL still flickering Bridgeway up a little bit. Spinning cash. Meeting in the bush. This comp at its finest right here. They just don't see each other and cash gets taken out by somebody else. Progress still making on Bridgeway. End squad still there. Just under half caps now. About to get to half cap. I'm very surprised Six didn't try anything with an airhead or a bombing run or something. Maybe they're low on munitions and manpower and stuff like that. They didn't have it for that, you know, prime opportune moment. Now Legion is just fully basically defending, and pretty decent sized spawn wave back for the Six side of things, and slowly taking out Legion now. There's 3 players do remain on the bridgeway, but that's the second time. Huge OP by Fatal there to get this small little reset in order, but looks like Dane and Hans at the top of your screen will try to join them to, you know, keep a little bit of pressure as pressure does continue onto 4th. You're just seeing this tough road ahead that Six are trying to push through, and it's just not going their way. It's like TC hopped out and is running around the map. Scotch actually getting a kill as TC, preventing anybody from trying to satchel his tank. But will die in the process to a satchel that did end up going onto his tank. Just the medium tank, but nonetheless, pretty big loss for them. Not sure what the tank situation is looking for Legion. Looks like they do have a heavy tank as well as a half track and one on its way. Probably one more left for them to spawn in. I think they have enough fuel. No, they do not. I completely lied. But it looks like Legion do kind of escape this little bit of a scare that they do have, or did have. Now JPL, Maho from behind. Actually on a garrison, and will take it out. Six just recognizing this now. And poor JPL gets crossfired by 2 MG42s. And down goes Mahojo again. A little bit of a heartbreak there for the Six. I feel like if they would have done the same thing, maybe with the airhead bombing run, if you legit did the airhead bombing run, like right over the midpoint, airhead basically in the same exact spot that you did the first one in if you're 6th, and then, you know, help having your push from the east, you know, keep pushing along as well, they probably could have honestly capped the point. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that was their moment to shine, and it just maybe didn't pan out for them. I assume they probably didn't have the resources to do so. That's one thing you do as a commander have to manage, is your resources, and maybe they just didn't have it, who knows. But you know, hindsight's always 20/20 when you look back at these games for either team. Still though, just under 11 minutes to go now. Six still trying to push to the mid cap. Find some last second miracles as we're winding down. And down goes Donnie. Back towards Brick Factory, and looks like 6th probably does get his OP right in the front of the Brick Factory, and are starting to contest it now. Are losing Bridgeway in the process. I feel like if you're 6, you have to kind of go full broke now. Kind of have Crawley and his squad trying to hold it down as long as they can, get some defense, and then get an airhead right by his OP. Make something happen. Maggot approaching the garrison. He was actually inside, never mind, but go to Bridgeway. Lots of Legion here, and it looks like they did get 3 OPs behind 6, and this is probably going to be a Legion cap. Oh no, this is gonna be a heartbreaker for the 6th. Oh, just all OPs. And this is probably going to be a Legion cap to bring this to a 4-1 game in their favor. And they're defending for 6. Airhead is coming down for Legion. I think Reinforce is down. I'm not sure where the hard cap is. A lot of 6 coming from the south. I'm not sure how much of this is actually going to hit them. It's going to get a good amount of them for sure. Not sure if there is a garrison that will wipe out a garrison as well. Six defending this point, halfway to defending this now. I think the airhead is destroyed. Yes, it is. Only 1 OP remains, so basically this is a done push from Legion. But you know, having those 3 OPs, they had that garrison there for so long, and it's just gonna completely wipe out, you know, 6's chance to push off those, you know, critical OPs that Crawley had. And I assume they probably had 1 other player there as well, as the cap was kind of flickering a little bit before this did happen. That's probably going to be the end of this little push here from Legion, as the entire sector back here, except for a few stragglers from 6th, remain. Eagles and Blacklisted. Blacklisted does burn the OP, does get 1, does get 2, and will get the 3rd before going down himself. Huge play from Blacklisted, but he got absolutely cooked. Oh man, dude, that's so unfortunate. Was that good play and then gets popped by a tank round. And it's under 6 minutes in the game. 6 are kind of have to do probably bomb and run airhead miracle play. They don't have a lot of cap progress, or not really cap progress. They don't have a lot of like ground progress that they have really made. There is a little thing back here, like just Terry and yep, Terry got gunned down by half of Legion. Fortunate to him, but he's been putting in some good work. So shout out to Terry for this match. Been really harassing Legion in the back lines, taking out those garrisons, painting tanks, obviously engaging in some infantry battles as well. But 6 are gonna have to do kind of a last ditch play if they do want to end this game on a high note for them. But you know, Legion's gonna expect this bomber and airhead, probably will take it out. We stick with Demon Hunter here. He's wondering what to do and where to go. It's Mr. Lucrative, but Meth Chimp and Louisiana will take him out. Will indeed take him out. If it keeps zooming out, Legion does not want to cross the bridge, it seems like. Waiting for 6 to push towards them as well. His Legion's really not going to move, and I kind of don't expect 6 to move that much as well. The same. Get a Lux diving onto the point from what it sounds like. And Cash falls into the water. It somehow lives. Oh man. Looks like a P-strike is coming down on the something. I don't know if that was over here. That was back over there. It's like Legion P-strike back here. What did they P-strike? Garrison, I assume? Kind of confused what they tried to P-strike, but anyways. Odd spot to P-strike something. The 6 P-strike did come down. I'm not sure if it actually quite hits these Legion tanks, but that is going to be the match. This will be a Legion victory here on Driel with Brick Factory as the decided midpoint. Don't know why they decided Brick Factory, but they did. Yeah. So as this game wraps up, we're just going to stick kind of probably by the bridge here. Just going to wrap up by talking about kind of what's been going on with like the overlays and everything. So if you're kind of just joining me for the first time here, this is myself Awake, and myself Caparzo, as well as a bunch of other casters and creators are collabing with BR1 to do a little fundraiser event coming here on June 7th. It's going to be the Road to D-Day event. We're going to be partnering with the Fisher House Foundation. So please, if you do have the time and, you know, a way to give back, please give back to this group that we are kind of collabing with, if I can say words. I am really out of breath right now. I am struggling right now, but yeah, so if you do have, you know, a little bit of money to give in the next few weeks, I'm gonna be doing this for a lot of my streams until the day of the event, and obviously with the day of the event. So in the description below, there should be a bunch of links that you can go and donate to, get some merch, you know, and get involved into the match, an event that we do have planned here coming up. But you know, other than that, thank you guys for watching this match, and GG's to both Legion and 6 in this one. Legion was British and 6 were the Axis, if you guys weren't aware of that already. But yeah, that's going to probably do it for this stream, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you again for watching, and yeah, I'll get going. See you later.